Hey everyone, my name is Adon, and I wanted to make this video for a little while now. Um, I've been seeing a lot of stuff online, and it's really been getting me to think about what the current situation in tech is right now. A little bit about myself. I am a UI developer. I've been coding and doing UI development for about the last 8 years or so. Um, I've worked for a few different companies, digital marketing companies, oil and gas, energy, um, and airline industry. So I'd like to think that I have quite a bit of experience working in the field. Um, I did not go the traditional route to learning my craft. I actually went to a coding boot camp uh, about 8 years ago and did a career pivot from doing sales and a bunch of other different kinds of jobs into this. So um, before that, I played music. I played in a band. I'm in a metal band. I still play in a metal band, and I practice martial arts on the side for fun. Um, all of that to say that um, I am not your traditional like computer science graduate. Uh, went through bachelor's, master's degree, and do all that stuff. Um, I made it a different way. And today I want to just share a message of showing others that may be struggling right now to find a job, to um, bounce back from a layoff, or just find themselves a little bit lost in their tech career right now. That there is a way. Then there are other ways to make it. Um, you don't always have to rely on luck or chance or feeling like you need to know somebody 100% to get in. Um, I think that hard work, perseverance, and the ability to really self reflect and look at yourself is really what helped me get to where I am now. Um, and when I say that, I'm not, I live pretty comfortably. I'm happy with what I have. I'm very grateful for everything that I have, the opportunities I have, the salaries that I made, and things like that. I don't think I would have thought that I would have made it to this point um, if you had asked me 8 years ago. Uh, I struggled a lot. I struggled a lot with um, algorithms and kind of learning the core concepts of JavaScript and front end development and all the nuanced stuff that comes with it. Um, but I never gave up and I continued to work through it. And I want to kind of share that to everybody else. So, um, a quick little backstory, and I'm going to say this right now. This is, if you haven't already been able to tell, this is not very organized. It's kind of just off the cuff. I had a lot of ideas and I just wanted to kind of put it out there for anyone who's willing to listen. Um, but yeah, so when I started this journey 8 years ago, I um, transitioned from sales. Um, the only experience in code I really had was a high school computer science class that I took, which I absolutely loved. And thinking back on it, I kind of wish that I had followed more in that path, but for whatever reason, I didn't. And so um, I went through the boot camp, and during the boot camp, um, I thought I could handle a lot more than I could. I bit off a lot more than I could chew. At the time, um, like I mentioned earlier, I practiced kickboxing and boxing. At the time, I was actually training for an amateur tournament, a local boxing tournament called the Golden Gloves. And it was a pretty big deal, or it continues to be a big deal in boxing communities. Um, You see a lot of rising talent there, a lot of kids, a lot of young people, a lot of people that are looking to make this a make boxing their career, start out at these tournaments. Anyway, I was training for it. Um, I loved boxing. I still do. And so I decided to train for this right before the boot camp started. It just lined up that way. I wasn't trying to make them both simultaneous. It just, when they told me when the boot camp started, it lined up with my training. And so I said, um, yeah, let's do it. And so um, I found it very quickly very difficult to be able to focus on both. If you ever done any kind of coding boot camp or learned anything new, where it's very fast paced, you know that the class isn't over when the lecture is over. You know that studying and taking that stuff home and going home and building things and breaking things on your own and doing all that, like, that takes time and it takes practice, and there's no way around it. There's no fast way around that. You have to make those mistakes before you can learn it. So um, I trained for the fight. My class, my cohort at the time was super, super supportive. I think everybody in the class ended up coming to the fight, or most of the people in the class came to the fight when I mentioned it, which I'm like super thankful for. It's still one of the coolest experiences I ever had. Uh, was actually having all them there. Um, and it was super cool. And I'm super grateful for that. Um, went through the fight, the camp was done, and now I'm about 2, 3 weeks into the boot camp, and I am behind. Um, we're learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the box model, responsive design, things like that, uh, JavaScript, algorithms, things like that. And I am just overloaded, just flooded with knowledge that I am really having a hard time containing. And and for the rest of the boot camp, I basically just felt like I was a week or two behind everybody else. Um, and there came a time where I seriously considered quitting, quitting the boot camp and thinking like, damn, like I really messed up. I shouldn't have tried to do all of this at once. It was too much. Um, and I made a very difficult decision in um, letting go of pretty much everything else that mattered at the time. Um, I stopped boxing for a while. I stopped playing shows with my band, um, and essentially put everything else aside and told myself I need to throw myself 100% into this boot camp if I'm going to succeed. And so I did, and I made it through the boot camp. I struggled a lot, as I said a million times already, but I made it. And after that, I continued to seek help. I continued to seek more. I actually sat through on the next cohort class for a couple of months, and and just continued to kind of like hammer down the same concepts that I may have missed in those first couple of weeks, and really just kind of give myself another pass on that. Um, and it was helpful. It was really helpful. I was super thankful that the um, people in charge at the boot camp were gracious enough to let me do that. Uh, and so I took that and continued to study and continued to learn. Started interviewing, took about 7 interviews. I had 7 interviews before I was extended an offer by my first company, a small digital marketing company here in um, my hometown of Houston. And and I was just ecstatic, just like just thrilled. Like, I'm finally gonna get paid for doing something that I find super interesting. Um, I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't care what they pay me. I don't care if it's the same pay that I was making back at my sales job. Like, I don't care. I just want to get in there. I want to learn. I want to like actually start to be able to make a living from this. I can say that I legitimately changed career paths and started making money doing this. I knew people in my class that were um, a little more interested in, like, the big six-figure salaries right out the gate, and it's not impossible. Maybe some of them did that right out the gate. I don't know. I never asked them, but I know some people were really shooting for that. I didn't care. I just wanted to get in there and start my path, start my journey. Um, and so I took that job, and um, I learned so much in such a short amount of time. Fast forward, I've been pretty much consistently working ever since for 8 years now. I continue to level up my stuff, continue to always strive for something new, um, kind of teaching myself new things, um, continuing to learn and pick up new skills along the way. Not really just sticking with what's popular, sometimes just going out and picking out a new tech if you want. Uh, you know, I remember teaching myself Angular when it was brand new, and everybody in my class and just about everyone that online I was looking up was learning React. And in my job market in Houston, I found that there were a lot more Angular jobs than there were React jobs. Um, and so I found that getting good at a certain skill that didn't have a lot of people in that pool, that talent pool, I guess you could say, I think helped me stand out, um, and helped me find my jobs as I did. And so the point to me saying this is just, I know that with like AI and a lot of different like market conditions and stuff, jobs can be hard to come by right now. Maybe they're not coming by as easy as they may have seemed. I mean, and I say that word carefully. I don't ever think it was easy to get a tech job. I truly don't believe that. Um, at least for me, it wasn't. It was always difficult. And even now, it still continues to be challenging, but not in any more challenging way than it was in the past. You're always going to have to learn something new. You're always going to have to adapt. You're always going to have to, um, you know, be ahead of the curve. That was always the case, whether it's whatever JavaScript framework is hot or whatever, you know, uh, if cloud platform, cloud computing and learning AWS and Google Cloud Platform and stuff, like once that becomes a big thing, learning that was a really marketable thing to have. Um, and now, integrating AI tools into your tool belt, I feel like is the next step and the next thing, right? Um, I'm I'm 36 years old. Um, Depending on how you look at, I'm either really young in the field or, you know, and like a dinosaur. Uh, but I consider myself still pretty young. I learn a lot every day, or at least I try to. Um, and even with 8 years experience, it's like it's truly uh, how they say, like, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And so um, I've gotten good at what I do, which is front end and UI development. I enjoy it. I find it very interesting, and that is my bread and butter. It's what I love to do. Um, there's a whole lot of other techs and technologies and disciplines that I don't know much about. Um, I know of them, but I'm not very skilled in them, and that's okay. I chose my path, and this is what I find very, very interesting and what I want to get at, what I want to get good at. Um, I um, want to just ask for anybody watching this right now, if you're struggling to find a job, if you're struggling to um, maybe break into the field, or maybe you have experience and you're having a hard time getting back on the saddle. Um, what have you taught? What have you learned lately? Um, what have you sought out um, in your field? You know, um, are you doing research? Are you looking at job postings, seeing what they're requiring, um, looking at the different tech stacks that they're looking for? Maybe do maybe look up and do some job market data, look up some job market data in your area, or if you're working remotely, maybe in the areas that you're interested in working in, and see what they're looking for, you know? Um, there was once a time where jQuery was super hot and everybody wanted that. Um, now it's more React and Vue and Angular and things like that. You know, now that's hot, right? Well, what's hot now? You know, um, and are you willing to go out of your comfort zone and learn it and go forward and adapt at the end of the day? Um, it's true. The only constant I feel in this world is change, and I don't think any other industry um, adopts that more than technology. Um, and maybe I'm just preaching to the choir. Maybe everybody here knows is just rolling their eyes and thinking, well, no, yeah, no shit, right? We're in tech. We're supposed to be learning every day. But this is maybe a reminder for those who are a little new, or maybe just have forgotten that there's always going to be changes. Once ChatGPT kind of like, loses its hype a little bit, there's going to be a new thing. There's going to be a newer AI bot. There's going to be something else that scares everybody, you know? And from what I've heard from like veterans in the field, people with 10, 20, 30 years plus in tech, I've heard from them. They say the same thing, there's always something that everyone runs screaming, the sky is falling for, right? Something's always here to replace our jobs. Um, with every new convenient tool that comes out, they think that, oh, we're all screwed, you know. And I think this is just another stage of that. Um, and yeah, we as developers have a very unique skill set, and learning to integrate these tools coming out, I think, is the best way to kind of move forward, to learn, and to continue forward in your career. Don't fear the change. Embrace it. Embrace the change, and ride that wave. You know, uh, the ones that are going to be left behind are the ones that I don't think want to adapt, or maybe have the mindset to adapt as they should. That might come out sounding a little harsh, but you have to want to change. You have to want to adapt. I think it's truly um, a bad mindset to have if you thought you could get into this career path and not continually learn. Um, so, yeah, that's kind of my message. That's it. That's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on the whole subject. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this. Um, and I hope that in this long kind of rambly video that that some bit of good could come out of it, and that maybe you took something from this that could keep you going a little further, a little longer. Um, the maybe hopefully the words that you might need to hear. Um, so I wish you all luck. I wish you all the best on your learning, on your continued path. Don't give up. You know, research. Um, look what else out there. Look what else is out there that could be beneficial to your tool belt. Embrace change, and yeah, reach out, connect. If anybody would like to connect to me, if they have any questions, I'd be happy to. answer anything that I can. Um, I actually do mentorship on the side for uh, tech bootcamp graduates. It's something that I like to do. So yeah, feel free to reach out um, with any of your questions. So yeah, have a great day.